Hi guys, welcome back to the Luxury Promise YouTube channel, and I am coming with a very special unboxing. An unboxing like no other. Yes, it's an Hermès bag, of course, it's in an Hermès orange box, but this is a Birkin from Kim Kardashian. So I have a Birkin from the Kardashians' closet right here. I've never done an unboxing of its kind. Also, there is a bag inside here that I've never even seen. So I've never handled this bag. So this is not a Birkin that you can add on your wish list. So as you guys know, my speciality is Hermès. If you don't know, Hermès is something I'm very passionate about. I love investing in bags, which will make me more money over time. So this is a great investment. So yes, it was a premium price, but actually it was a premium price Birkin, which is worth double in the resale market. Now, before I do the unboxing, I have a little story to tell you. So I was on Instagram, as you usually are, scrolling through Instagram, and in my DM, a friend of mine, known as Dr. Mara, she sent me a message to say, oh my God, the Kardashians are selling their wardrobe. So I clicked on the link and I was like, oh my God, what is going on? Now, in terms of getting this type of Birkin, one, you can't get it. Two, you can't add it onto your wish list. So not is it only really hard to buy a bag from Hermès, it is even harder to basically score a Birkin from the Kardashians. Now, I checked the link and I was like, oh, everything's going to be sold out. I'm not going to be able to get one. Fine, interested to see. I'm in the world of resale. Let's see what's happening in the Kardashian closet. I click on it and I'm like, oh my God, there are not one, there are not two, but there's like 3 or 4 really incredible rare Birkins, including the vanilla Birkin 30 from Kylie Jenner's wardrobe. So you would have seen it was a matte gaiter. You've seen it in multiple stories. You've seen it on her Instagram. So I was like, oh my God, there's Birkins here. The Birkin I have is not actually the Birkin I wanted to get. It was one I was considering, but something went wrong. And I'm going to tell you the story. So this is not the actual Birkin that I ordered. It ended up being the Birkin I ordered, but it's not the Birkin that I originally went for. I'm going to tell you why. So, with that being said, I'm going to quickly show you what's in here, and I'm going to tell you all the gossip and all the story about how I scored my Birkin from the Kardashians' closet. Now, here we go. Here's my baby. Here's my new baby, and it's the first time I've ever handled a double Birkin. What's she saying? What's double? Now, double sounds much more exotic than the classic word suede. It is a suede Birkin, which Hermès no longer do. So they don't do the suede Birkin, they do it in a grizzly, like a teddy bear. So a grizzly it has some leather trims here and a leather handle, whereas this is a pure suede Birkin. So every part about this bag is suede, so it's not a combination of suede and leather. It's a full suede bag, which they have discontinued. So as I was mentioning earlier, you can't add this onto your wish list because they basically no longer produce it. Now, this is a pre-loved Birkin 25. I believe it's in the colour Capucine. It's a bit harder to tell because it has lost its colour. Now, double Birkins do lose their colour if it's exposed to too much sunlight, so if it's left on a window, or basically it's suede, so it's going to have its wear. So you can see there is like how the bag has been closed. So by the way, guys, if you're looking to store your bags, do not guys, do not store your Birkins like this in your wardrobe. Everyone thinks they should be storing their Birkins like that in the wardrobe, because look at that, it has a huge mark to the front. So this is this is what the colour of the bag should be, but it's gone lighter over time. Now, the beautiful thing about suede is that it can be sparred really, really nicely. It isn't something that will be fixed if it gets wet. So obviously, like suede, you're not going to get it wet and it's going to have like little watermarks on it. But this, as you can see, it should be a much more deeper red. But that's okay. I love pre-loved bag. I love the fact that this bag has a story. One of the reasons why I love pre-loved is because it has a story, and this bag definitely has a story. I wonder where Kim has worn this. Now, Kim is famously known for her suede Birkins. So if you go and check, she's got multiple suede Birkins. She's got a grizzly, she's got a noisette, she's got different different size Birkins. Now, it basically came wrapped in its little Kardashian closet tissue. So here's a Kardashian closet tissue, which I kept just as a little memory. I don't really keep it, but just a memory of where I got this from. Now, should I tell you the story about how this was not the Birkin that I was meant to get? And the conversations that happened while I was trying to score myself a Kardashian Birkin. Now, I get this message, I go online, and I'm like, oh my God, these prices are really good. So something like this in the resale market would sell, I mean, maybe it's a bit more used than the other ones that have said because there's discoloration, but like I said, if you buy something this rare, take it to the Hermès spa. That's why you buy Hermès pieces, because the spa service is that it's meant to make you have your bags last from generation to generation. So I can take it to the Hermès spa. I probably won't. I kind of like the fact that it's lost its colour. It's a bit used. I'm not going to be worried about having to wear this and marking it because it's already been loved. So basically, I went online. I checked the website, and there were a few Birkins that caught my eye. So there was one Mini Kelly in a suede. So I was like, shall I buy the Mini Kelly? Actually, was not a bad price. It was a really, really good price. But I'm like, I don't really want a Mini Kelly. And then the other one I saw was a mauve pale Birkin 25. Now the price was at least around £5,000 under the resale value. Plus it's a Kardashian bag. And I was like, oh my God. Here at Luxury Promise, we have a handbag museum. I want to have a handbag in my museum, which has a story, because that's what I love about my bags that I have. They have a story. So I click, I buy a mauve pale Birkin 25. It was around $20,000. So I get excited. I'm like, oh my God, I bought a Birkin from the Kardashians. I post it on my Instagram stories, like, oh my God, it's coming, with like my order number. I cover up obviously my order number. So I then go out for dinner, come back, check my email, and it was like, I'm really sorry, but your order has been cancelled. And in the meantime, I get a message from a customer of mine, or someone else from my Luxury Promise Instagram, so in my personal Instagram, they send me a message saying, oh my God, I got a mauve pale Birkin too. I'm like, but they only had one. But I was like, I don't know, maybe they had another one. Maybe it was another sister's one. So someone else had clicked the back of my link on the Instagram and ended up buying a mauve pale Birkin, but it was actually the Birkin that I bought. So I check and they've cancelled my order. So basically they cancelled my order, and kind of understand, because obviously in luxury goods, we check like risk factors. And one of the risk factor was, my card is from London, but at the time I was in New York when I purchased it. So it showed that I was far away from my card. So they flagged it up as a risk. So maybe typically you get stolen cards and they get used from different areas, not in their location, or clone cards. So they cancelled the order, which I understood why they could get, but then someone else in the meantime had checked out with a Birkin that I was meant to get. So I was like, oh my God, that's so frustrating. I then had to respond back and be like, I understand, because I have a business that does the same thing, and I get the risk fraud. We do the same. We would cancel it. But I was like, but I'm not a fraudulent person, and I want to buy this Birkin, was the other Birkin, because actually it was much more rarer, and actually is worth double. So sells around £35,000 in the resale market, which is around $45,000. So I was like, this is the other Birkin I had my eye on, and they was like, okay, you can go for that. But I was like, but if I do it, it's going to flag up medium, because I'm from London and I'm currently in New York, so it's going to flag up as a high risk. So I then had to send her a message and be like, I'm really sorry, but I'm not fraudulent, and this is who I am. So I kind of had to be like, please Google me. I've never had this conversation. I'm like, please Google my name. You'll see that I'm in the business of resale. This is who I am. I own a company called Luxury Promise. Well, now, if they didn't know about Luxury Promise, they definitely will know about Luxury Promise. So I did a little bit of PR there, guys. I did a bit of self-promoting. I said, I'm the CEO of Luxury Promise. I deal with Hermès bags, so I completely get it. But I live in London, but currently I'm in work in New York. Here's the office in New York. This is who I am. I'm a registered company. I'm not gonna cancel it and be fraudulent. And they was like, I understand, but I'm really sorry, we still can't give you the Birkin. So I'm like, damn, how am I going to get this Birkin? I really want this Birkin, because Like, it's a rare baby, and I can't find it anywhere else. And I did find it on other places for about £35,000. So I then messaged a friend of mine, and I was like, hey, do you want to buy me a Birkin? And he was like, excuse me? I was like, I will transfer the money. And I can't ask my husband because he's also has the same problem as me. He's from London. I was like, I'll send you the money. So he ends up buying the Birkin, and it ends up being a medium fraud alert as well. But although he's from New York, so he ends up flagging it up. So they had to cancel his order, and then I had to say, please hold it for me. Then they guessed there was, okay, I see someone else has ordered it. Is it you? Is it a coincidence? They're also in New York. So anyway, long story short, managed to get the Birkin. It arrived, and I'm so happy because I have a little piece of treasure that is not only the ultimate Hermès Birkin in terms of a collector's piece, because when you go into collector's pieces, the suede is the next level. For me, it's like you've done the leathers, you've got all the Birkins you want, and now you really kind of want the really special one-off pieces which you can't find. And those Birkins are going to be like your Shadow, your Picnic, your Teddy, your Doublés. What else will there be? That's kind of it. And obviously your exotic skins. Not quite there at the exotic skins, manifesting that, but where I am at in my life is a suede Birkin, which is going to be proudly sitting. I will use it. Maybe I'll use it tonight. I don't know. But it's going to be proudly sitting in our handbag museum, where we do find these really rare collectible pieces. Now, if you're wondering about the size, it is a 25, as I mentioned earlier. And if I wanted to take it to Hermès, they could spar it and bring back some of that colour. So maybe with some brushing technique they will have. I may consider it. The handles have darkened, but again, like I said, eventually what will happen is if I leave it out of with no flap on the top, so I just leave it like this, I'm hoping that this colour will just fade like the rest of it. So this eventually will blend in once that's done. And then obviously here, this is the bit that probably would bug me the most, with obviously where the sangles have sat over the Birkin. And that's why before I end my story, next time I will actually come back with a collection of suede Birkin. So I'll actually come back and you'll understand why I needed to have this baby in my collection. So I'm going to come back with some other bags that are from the Doublé suede range that I have. And yeah, this is like the sister version of another bag I have, because red is actually quite common. So they've done it in like a beautiful, like a pinky nude, which is really incredible, which I think is Glycine. The colour is officially Glycine. Rouge Vif, which is a much more deeper red. Capucine, Nucette, and which is like a caramel tone. And then they had a grey version, which was only quite recent, and that sells for about £75,000. And they have a blue version, like a cobalt blue, which is just stunning. And I'm after one that's a big 40. So if you've got one to sell, send us a message, because I'm after them. Add to my collection. So just very quickly, I'm just going to show you how to store your Birkin while I end. So if you do like to have your Birkin, and if you do have a suede Birkin, please do not store it closed. Just leave it open. Add a little bit of stuffing. Keep it inside its box, out of sunlight, because this is something like Lizard is the other one that you don't want, or light exotics, because their colour will become more yellow. So keep it out of sunlight, keep it in its box. Simply just lay it flat on its pillow, how it came in the box. Do not leave it stored in its walk-in wardrobe, or if you have a wardrobe. And do not leave it stored like this. Now, if you don't have a Doublé Birkin, or just a classic Birkin, I'm going to quickly just show you how to store your Birkin, because I see even a lot of resale platforms, the way they take their photography, and you can see that they're actually ruining the consignment pieces off the customers that they're sending. I'm going to show you in a second how. So you can see now the two colours, how the sangles have just destroyed the colour. You basically put the clochette up, do not pin it over the clochette, and we are not going to tuck it in here, because if we tuck it in here, again, it's going to cause a dent and a bump here. So you can see that dent and bump, and again, the discoloration. We are going to put that's only for use when the bag is open. We're going to put this over the Birkin. So it's going to be stored over the Birkin, and then the clochette goes over it. So this is being pulled really nicely. It's not being ruined by having it tucked in. It's not going to cause a dent in. So that's the best way to store your Birkin closed if you want to store it closed. Anyway, that's my quick story about how I scored a Birkin from Kim Kardashian. Stay tuned for my next video, which is going to be on my collection of doublés. So see you all soon, and make sure you comment below and subscribe. Bye.